A new year brings new leaders. This week, the G77 Chairmanship was passed from its 2013 leader, Fiji, to another developing country, the Plurinational State of Bolivia. President Evo Morales joined UN ambassadors this week to outline his vision for the year ahead.
States must lead their economies and governments and must adopt service-based policies for the people, socialize wealth, eradicate poverty, and conceive of development in a holistic manner in order to make basic services universal for all.
His presence is an affirmation of the central role of the Group of 77 and China in addressing key system-wide policy and development issues and ensuring that the United Nations remains relevant and vibrant.
And in that context, the G77 plus China is one of the main actors to bring about change at this historical time.
Created 50 years ago this year, the G77 is a coalition of countries from the Global South working to advance collective economic and political interests within the United Nations. The group, particularly its leadership, has been a major player in advancing the Millennium Development Goals and more recently the post-2015 agenda consultations, ensuring that developing countries are adequately represented in the talks.
It was due to the group's insistence that we now have an intergovernmentally negotiated outcome document for the special event of the MDGs, which sets out the roadmap for the post-2015 development agenda.
Outgoing chair and permanent representative of Fiji, Ambassador Peter Thompson, was applauded for his leadership and vision in helping drive the G77 further towards building a comprehensive development framework after 2015.
Beginning at the highest possible level of your government, you have made yourself readily available to the group and provided the necessary leadership and guidance during what must have been a very difficult year.
You provided important leadership in a year that was critical in accelerating efforts to achieve the Millennium Development Goals and follow up on the decisions made at the Rio +20 summit meeting.
As the new chair of the G77, Bolivia has a daunting task ahead. It must corral developing world leaders to help build a post-2015 development agenda that is robust, transformational, and universal, while still addressing the unique needs of many of its members. President Morales promises leadership that is visionary and effective.
The time of crisis is also a time of opportunity. It's a time for transformation in thought, transformation of ideas in order to build a different world. It is also time for countries of the South and the emerging countries to shoulder their responsibility and work together to build based on solidarity, complementarity, and mutual support.
2014 is an important year for our United Nations, and it will be an important one for this group, and indeed for all the member states of the United Nations. For this year, we will need to work collectively to lay the groundwork for what is to come in 2015.
President Morales' speech was both radical and visionary. But in order to eradicate poverty and ensure environmental sustainability, transformational ideas will need to prevail. Luckily, Bolivia has never been short of those, but it remains to be seen if they could bring their big ideas to the G77 to lead developing nations into prosperity. For South-South News, this is Brendan Pastor at the United Nations.